One thing happened in the AI world today. Exactly one. Not the trillion-dollar chip maker, not the robots that never sleep, not the brand new smartest model on Earth. Your feed stacked all of those into tonight, and almost none of them are actually new. The one real thing is a tiny device described in a memo this afternoon, and it quietly changes where this technology lives. Here is everything your screen screamed at you in the last few hours. Micron crossed $1 trillion. DeepSeek torched its prices. Figures robots ran 200 hours straight. Google quietly killed the search box. Anthropic shipped Opus 4.8. Meta wants a pendant hanging around your neck. Each one lands with the same red dot, the same urgent font, the same single word at the top, breaking. But watch what the feed actually does. It strips the timestamp off everything and stacks it into one wall of now. A model from Thursday, a robot test that ended a week ago, a price cut from 8 days back, all flattened into the same screaming present tense. Your brain reads the volume as importance. Loud starts to feel like true. And that is exactly the wrong instinct to trust. Because when everything is breaking, you lose the one skill that actually protects you. Telling a genuine shift from a press release wearing a costume. So tonight we are going to do the thing the algorithm hates. We slow it down, we sort it, and we ask of every headline one boring, ruthless question. Did this actually happen in the last day? And does it actually mean anything at all? Start with the loudest number on every screen this weekend. Micron, the memory chip maker, closed Friday worth more than $1 trillion for the first time in its history. Up about 5% on the day, 29% on the week, and a staggering 214% this year. The headline writes itself. The AI boom just minted another giant. True. But here is what the number is really telling you. For 3 years the AI trade had exactly one name. NVIDIA, the chips that do the thinking. But you cannot think without memory. And the world suddenly cannot make enough of it. So the money is spilling sideways. Into Micron, into the unglamorous stuff nobody bragged about. The trillion isn't hype. It's the boom getting wider. And a real shift looks boring on the surface and obvious only in hindsight. Remember that tell, because the very next item in your feed is the mirror image. Not a price soaring, but a price collapsing on purpose. This week DeepSeek made a 75% cut to its top model Permanent, and it was built to scare the room. But it gets stranger, because both stories are true at the same time, and they point in completely opposite directions. Hold them side by side. Think about it. One company crosses $1 trillion selling AI hardware, while another deliberately slashes the cost of AI intelligence by 3/4. Both are huge. Both are real. And together they say something simple and enormous. The machines that run AI keep getting more valuable, while the intelligence itself keeps getting cheaper, sliding toward almost free. Keep those two facts in your hands, because they quietly explain nearly everything else tonight. So those are our two anchors. Soaring hardware, collapsing software cost. Now let's take the rest of tonight's noise and run it straight through them. Because most of what's screaming at you isn't a new story at all. It's one of those two forces, wearing a different headline and a louder font. And the first one I want to pull apart is the one engineered to scare you most. The robots that supposedly never stopped. The headline. Figures humanoid robots ran 200 hours nonstop, and sorted nearly 250,000 packages with 0 failures. The picture in your head is a warehouse with no humans left in it. The reality underneath. It was 3 robots working in shifts, doing one narrow task, turning boxes so a barcode faces down. About 1,200 packages an hour. Genuinely impressive. Also very much not the apocalypse. And here's where it gets really interesting. That demo wrapped up a week ago. And yet it's all over your feed tonight as if it just happened. The time flattening again. But strip the drama off and the real signal is still sitting right there. Not robots replaced everyone. It's one boring repetitive motion, just became reliable enough to run for days without a hand touching it. That's smaller. It's also far more important. Same trick with the models. This week Anthropic shipped Opus 4.8, called the most advanced public model on Earth, just 41 days after the last one. Google quietly retired its search box and let an AI answer by default. Headlines screamed revolution. But look at the actual brag on Opus. Testers say it admits when it's unsure and makes fewer things up. We've gone from it's superhuman to it lies less. Progress, dressed as a thunderclap. And that gap, between how loud the claim is and how modest the actual improvement is the single most useful thing you can watch in AI right now. The volume keeps going up. The real steps keep getting smaller, quieter, more practical. Which raises the obvious question. If most of tonight's headlines are reruns and incremental tweaks shouting in capital letters, then what, underneath all of it, is genuinely changing? Here is the shift almost nobody put in a headline, because it's quiet. AI is climbing down off the screen. For 3 years it lived inside a chat box you typed into and waited on. This week it stopped waiting to be asked. Google's search now answers before you finish thinking. Anthropic's newest tool quietly runs hundreds of sub-agents at once. The mode is changing, from a tool you use to a system that just acts. And that's not even the strangest part. Because if AI is moving from something you open to something that's simply running, the next logical step is for it to leave the screen entirely. Off your desk, out of your phone, and onto your body. Which brings us, finally, to the one thing tonight that actually is brand new. Not a rerun. Not a week old. Reported in the last 24 hours. Meta, according to an internal memo viewed today by The Information, is building an AI pendant. A small device you wear around your neck that listens to your conversations and remembers them for you. It builds on a startup Meta bought late last year, whose entire product was a wearable that quietly recorded everything you said. And Meta wants real people testing it within the year. That's the new thing tonight. Now connect the dots. Hardware soaring. Intelligence sliding toward free. AI shifting from a tool you open to a system that just runs. And now a memo about a device that listens all day. Each headline on its own is just noise. But stacked in the right order, they form a single sentence. AI is leaving the screen and moving into the room with you. That's the real story. Nobody put it in a cheerin'. So what do you actually do with that, tonight, as a normal person and not a trader or an engineer? First, stop letting volume vote. The number of notifications about a thing has almost nothing to do with whether it matters. Friday's $1 trillion milestone got a fraction of the noise that a week-old robot demo did. Loud and important are simply not the same channel. And the feed will never tell you that. Second, and this one will matter more than any chart on your screen, start noticing where the listening happens. The pendant is just a memo today, but the direction is unmistakable. Always on, always recording, always remembering, worn right on your body. The convenience will be real. So will the question almost nobody is asking loudly yet. When the device hears the whole room, who else gets to hear it too? So keep one habit from tonight. When the next wall of AI headlines hits, and it will probably before you even wake up, don't ask which one is loudest. Ask which one actually happened today, and which one quietly changes where this technology lives. Put the timestamps back on. Sort the reruns from the real. Because the signal you need is almost never the thing screaming at you the hardest. And the realest signal tonight was never loud at all. The one truly new thing in 24 hours wasn't the $1 trillion, and it wasn't the robots. It was a quiet memo about a little pendant that hangs at your collar and never stops listening. Remember that the next time your feed is on fire. If this helped you see through the noise, like it, follow for the next breakdown, and send it to the one friend who believes every headline. And tell me below, what's the loudest AI story that turned out to be nothing? If this resonated, give it a like so the algorithm spreads it. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.